Veronica Mars, I'm watching you. Private eye.
Hello and welcome to your podcast, Veronica Mars. I'm the gold rapper underneath your couch, Joe. I have a lot to say about that during this episode.
And I'm Travis. And I'm just
It's
Travis.
Don't ask me. I'm just a Travis.
This is already not starting out great, Joe.
Today we're here to discuss Veronica Mars Season 2, Episode 2, Driver's Ed. Which is
Jackie's first episode.
And also my first episode into the series.
It's an episode.
It's not bad. It's better than last episode.
I guess it is.
It is. Like, I don't know. I didn't, because I watched the episodes twice, and like when I watched normal as a watchword the second time, I'm like, oh my god, this is taking forever. And then this one, I'm like, oh no, I really like this. Like, I could watch it a third if I needed.
I just hate Kevin Smith so much. So much. And I totally forgot he was even in an episode. And then I saw his name in the credits, and I was very confused. And I'm like, oh, maybe he just has a cameo. And then you see him on the TV, and then he has a full scene.
He has a good moment, though.
No.
Well, that's your opinion.
Yes.
So, what's your hatred for Kevin Smith? I mean, I don't care about him either, or like positive or negative.
Kevin Smith is just everything that's really bad with the comic book fandom and the gross like men in comic book fandoms. He, for the most part, well, not anymore because the world has changed, but he's never really wrote great female characters. He's always been kind of gross to women in general, and it's supposed to be cute because his daughter's name's Harley Quinn, so he must be a great like father. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cute, but also you're still a garbage person.
Yeah, I never really knew much
and he's always
about
like,
him outside of Dogma is like one of my favorite movies.
His that comic book show he had for a while. I watched a couple episodes.
Yeah.
It was gross. They all looked like they didn't shower. They all had this gross mentality to them. And he's always part of the CW shows. Like he's directed a couple episodes, and he always presents stuff. And it's just like, when did DC decide Kevin Smith was their like Stan Lee? Because it's not like he's written anything good. And he's always part of stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he's a fine person and like all that. I just don't like him. And I would be okay if he just went away.
Yeah, I don't know. Dogma's a good movie. I could live without the rest of his movies. But I just love religious satire. Anyway, let's get back to the episode.
Tell us about it, Joe.
Let's travel over onto iTunes and see what they have to say. iTunes tells us, after tragedy strikes the town of Neptune and local sheriff rushes to judgment, an emotional Veronica attempts to help a grieving family member rule out suicide as a contributing cause in the calamity. Meanwhile, Wallace offers to help new transfer student Jackie Cook, the fiery, flirty daughter of professional baseball player Terrence Cook,
that means she's
track
black.
down the person who damaged her car in the school parking lot. Later, mayoral candidate Woody Goodman, recurring guest star Steve Guttenberg, asks Keith to consider running for sheriff. Recurring guest star Charisma Carpenter appears as frisky trophy wife Kendall Casablancas, and director-actor Kevin Smith, Clerks, guest stars as convenience store clerk Dwayne Anders.
Are you happy that Charisma Carpenter got her name dropped?
I am. There's more. There's more to this, but it is a mistake. It says the feisty UK all-girl band The Faders make their US debut with the world premiere of their new video for No Sleep Tonight, which is episode 5 Blast from the Past.
Doesn't this...
At the
no,
dance?
what song plays in this episode? When Veronica and Duncan start having sex.
Oh, it's not No Sleep Tonight.
No, it's not. But it's...
It's on the soundtrack.
It is on the soundtrack. That's when I know a song is on the soundtrack, is because I know every word to it when it pops up on the show.
But yeah, that's No Sleep Tonight was episode 5. I remember when they were promoting it.
Yeah,
like for their ads for the episode.
Yeah, because they're playing at the school dance. I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it is. So that was
wow,
iTunes.
Okay, okay, marshmallows. Time to band together. Get that fixed.
I need everyone to bombard iTunes with emails about how they've screwed up.
But good for Charisma Carpenter.
Yeah, she deserved it in the last episode, but whatever, I guess. They heard my cries, but then they ended up fucking up the end of it, so whatever. Let's talk about the episode at hand.
So I do want to start by saying how last week I brought up Veronica being awful at her job. And I'm going to continue that thread.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So, Jackie Cook, for as much as I don't really care for her in this episode, and she's kind of weirdly overacting.
She was right.
She was right. Why? I'm going to go take a break. But
behind the
counter with someone who doesn't work there. First of all, you can't bring people who don't work behind the counter.
That's a food health violation.
But also, we're just kind of going to stand there right in front of the cash register and right in front of the whatever, and
get mad at people for wanting to get their drink.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's so stupid. Also, why was there no one up at the bar? And why is also Veronica... Okay, because we've seen Veronica do non-hostess stuff in the first episode, because she was taking cash and giving people stuff. So that's non-hostess. Go to the break room. It's a restaurant. Go sit somewhere else, Veronica. Also, it's super shitty. She's just like, I'm just going to take my break now. It's like, does there no break schedule?
It's a free-for-all.
But I love the banter between Jackie and Veronica when Jackie's like, I don't care if you're the magician, make me a macchiato. Ta-da! You're a macchiato. I quite enjoyed that. But again, let's continue the trend.
Her "you could do better" was a little correct. Ooh. Duncan probably could. But I don't know. Him and Veronica are in a good spot.
They're both
right
also
now.
just super damaged, so they deserve each other.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Fuck. I lost it. Oh, let's continue this trend of Veronica not getting along with any female in Neptune. Let's promote that. 2 seconds in, the new female cast member. We're gonna make them hate each other.
We see her.
Yeah. And of course, it's so weird. The line of Jackie saying you could do better. It feels like you're supposed to hate Jackie, but also the fans at that point hated Duncan and Veronica, so it's almost like they supported Jackie because they're like,
right.
You're right!
Yeah, you get away from Duncan. So I guess we can start with the Jesse stuff. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Story. It's kind of... The other stuff kind of very B-plot.
Very much.
Except for the Wallace, but...
It is weird.
We'll talk about that next.
There's two... we don't get a lot of double mysteries on Veronica Mars that don't end up kind of relating to each other. And yeah, they kind of relate to each other because it's all about the bus crash, but not in any significant way. But yeah, the Jessie stuff.
Ari Grainer. I fucking love her. If you have not seen For a Good Time Call, please go out and see that movie. It is amazing. It is perfect. I love it. And I love her. And she's like one of those guest stars that Veronica Mars got everybody.
I really liked her in Whip It.
Became anything. Whip It. Oh, yeah. Oh, Whip It's such a good movie, too. I love that movie. But this is I really like this mystery. And I like that at the beginning of it, Veronica recognizes that it's out of her league.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
that this guy committed. It's like, I'm in high school too. Like, what do you?
She's like, it took me a year to even figure out my friend's murder. Okay, I need more than a day. Okay.
She's like, are you ready for 22 episodes of me figuring this out? I really appreciated that moment in it because there's a lot of times where Veronica is shoved into some very adult situations and it isn't really acknowledged outside of Keith going like, oh, I don't want you to do this.
Yeah.
And so it's nice for Veronica herself to be like, hey, let's slow down a bit. Where am I supposed to start? And then all it takes is for Jesse to whoop some girl's ass for Veronica. Be like, yeah, female on female action. She's like, I hate girls too. Let's join together. We could not be friends, but exist in a parallel plane.
Oh my god. Yeah.
But that role of Shelby, I'm pretty sure because Diane Ruggiero wrote this episode. I'm pretty sure she wrote that role for Madison.
No, yeah. We'll discuss it at the end of the episode,
it had to
Joe.
have been.
We will discuss it at the end of
okay.
the fucking episode.
I just wanted to...
We're all thinking it.
Well, yeah, because she pops up and like, who's this bitch? Like,
But also, I am glad it wasn't Madison, because Madison didn't, like, I don't want to see Madison physically abused, except for in the Veronica Mars movie where it's... But then it's like, just like 10 years of like accumulation and it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't have wanted to see Madison
No.
get decked in the face. I just, like any other episode, Diane has written like Madison. So I want to... Why? What hurt us? Did Amanda not dye her hair that week? That's why they wouldn't
The
ask
wig
her.
wouldn't have survived the punch, the fall. It would have just came right off.
I also like that this episode really sets up Veronica's survivor's guilt and her having... Because she kind of dealt with that in season 1. Feeling like, oh, my best friend's dead and I'm here alive. Like, I have to avenge her murder type thing. But this is different.
It's very different because in all actuality, Veronica should have been on that bus.
Yeah.
There is no legitimate reason why she wasn't on that bus, except for, you know, the thing I ranted about last time.
Thank you, Lily.
So I get where she's coming from, and I like how she kind of snaps at Duncan when he's all goofy.
Yeah.
And it's like, well...
I like even more that she apologizes after, though.
Yeah,
She's like, that wasn't about you. Like... And he's like, I just want you happy, so I've been eating my feelings.
Well, Duncan's probably also like...
And you called me fat.
Duncan's probably just like, my medication's keeping me really mellow, Veronica. You should look into it, okay? Like...
So there's this thing called a psychologist.
Let's just say...
They're here to help.
Let's just say Celeste probably, like, doubled whatever he was already on.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Finding out the love of your life is no longer your sister and bangable. That might be better than any sort of lithium God could make. That God could make.
Yeah.
Because we'll get there at the end, but yeah, Duncan gets what Duncan wants. So let's talk about because Veronica agrees to help out Jesse and find out and try to prove that her dad didn't commit suicide. So she moseys on over to that convenience store where we get Travis's BFF, Kevin Smith.
I will not okay. So what I like about that scene is it's so fucked up, but also so true. Selling like survival merch or like that kind of stuff. Because I don't want to say only in America, because it actually happens a lot of places. But like making money off tragedy is just it's gross, and it's what happened
American
after
culture.
Like, yeah, and it happened after 9/11. A lot of that stuff was going around, and
oh God, yeah,
that
was gross.
It's
so
making
gross.
money off tragedy, but they do a really good job here. Even though Okay, so they got the merch out really quick, and that's not usually how things happen.
Which I love the design of the like school bus.
I know, but
wings, like with fucking wings.
But whoever
so,
did
crass.
it was just like, I don't want credit for it though. Like you can have it, but don't give me credit for it.
Like I love it, but it's like it's very crass. Like I couldn't. It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's.
They're in heaven now.
Oh god. I liked his Dwayne's little he says,
"You're one of those freaky sex and death type kids, aren't you? We've been getting a lot here lately. Boss tells me to throw them out, but I'm like, no way, man. Goth money spends just as well as non-goth money. So, but if we've been getting a lot of monsters in here, I'd say that you're the Maryland, hun, because you're pretty."
Thanks.
And he very much will not stop hitting on Veronica. Like he is hoping that he can like spin this into sleeping with her. And she's 18 now, so like
This is also just like Kevin Smith thing though.
Oh, that's awkward.
I mean, to be fair, no one's ever come out against him, and I'm sure he's like a wonderful guy, but I've always got the like heebie-jeebies from him.
No, I get it. I'm not. I didn't mean like, oh no, don't say anything. Like, I don't. Who's gonna listen? He's not gonna know what you say. So like, the whole like Veronica figuring out that Ed was trying to make change or whatever to make a phone call. I just kept thinking, why didn't anyone else think of this? But then I'd have to remember it's Lamb, and no one was even looking, so...
But what I don't get is, he bought stuff, and I don't know, he bought stuff, and could he have just been like, oh, can I just get change with that?
No, there's a sign.
But he already bought stuff.
It's okay. It doesn't have to do with buying stuff.
Can't it just be like...
No change. What if you're trying to get counterfeit things?
What if it's just like, oh, hey, instead of giving back a $1 bill, give me back 4 quarters?
I guess. I don't know.
Because I know in America, it's a thing. But in Canada, it wouldn't be a thing because you just get coins all back. There's no $1 bills. You just get coins back. So this wouldn't have ever happened.
But would a payphone take one? Does it cost $1 to use a payphone? Don't you guys have like quarters?
Yeah, but like
okay, so you would still need to get change for your loony.
You could put the loony in. Also, I think
so that you
calls
get
calls nowadays are 75 cents from what I recall.
Nowadays, this is in 2000. Calls were like 25 cents.
They were a quarter.
Yeah.
Whatever. You put the loony in and then you lose the 75 cents. Is the choice you make.
Wow. Not everyone can just spend money like that willy-nilly.
Well, this guy was about to leave his wife and kids, so I don't really think he's concerned about that.
Well, we've seen their house. Like, he needed the 75 cents.
I do like that Jessie... She's like, we've come accustomed to, like, a roof over our head and food.
Oh, and I like... where when she first approaches Veronica and she's like,
just out of curiosity, did you know who I was last week? Nope. Your dad drives one bus off a cliff and your days of being under the radar are over.
One bus.
Just one bus and here we are. I really enjoyed that. And the like when they're at the roadside, the memorial or whatever.
Oh my god, and she's like,
I guess my dad doesn't rate a votive candle.
This doesn't mean anything.
Come on. If you were on that bus, you would want your pile to be the biggest.
Yes!
And then everyone turns and looks at her and she's like, oh, I said that slightly too loud. But it's true though. It's this weird thing where you'd hope your pile's the biggest. You hope you had the most, like, what is it? Oh, it's on American Dad when Steve goes, like, missing or whatever, and there's, like, a memorial in front of his house, and then Stan's like, is that a Beanie Baby? Oh, that's like he's like, whatever animal it is, he's like, it's a rabbit. And he just starts collecting the babies. For some reason. Because, yeah, they put the weirdest things on those memorials because you see them.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. They get gross real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But also, yeah, you want the biggest one. Yeah.
I like that they showed Curly at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing they planned on it because they used that shot later down the road. But I like when you can go back and see those little moments.
Okay, so this one is a shout out to my best friend and roommate Christina, and has had this issue for the last couple, like, almost like 2 months now, but we haven't got to this episode yet, and she's keeps telling me to bring it up, so I'm gonna bring it up. So when Veronica and Duncan are in his apartment and having sex, anyone who's like noticing, there's all this weird like European stuff around them. There's like a Mona Lisa pillow and like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and then there's a Eiffel Tower in his living room, and so there's a deleted scene on the DVD about how Veronica wanted like to have sex in a special, like somewhere special and all that. Yeah. So they talk about like in Europe or whatever. So Duncan like sets up his apartment like it's Europe, or his suite like it's Europe.
The hotel, yeah.
And so, but that scene's deleted. But what she really gets annoyed by, and I got annoyed by looking at it too. So when they start to have sex, it like zooms in on the Mona Lisa pillow. And it just seems like a weird zoom in. If you don't have context as to why, it just looks like Duncan has all this weird... Because there's like a Leaning Tower of Pisa model, like, at the foot of his bed. And, like... So, they could have done it differently. It does not make much sense. And then when she's leaving and gets up, there's all this... Just more French stuff. And it's like... Keep the scene in... But they had to.
It was a really sweet scene too.
It was a really sweet scene, and because
I'm really upset
gets
we didn't
edited
get it.
really weird when she goes and they start making out. It's like weirdly cut, because I guess they're trying to like make it. I don't know what they're trying to do, but it doesn't work. And there's stuff they could have cut out to made this fit.
Yeah. Well, actually, now that you bring that up, that's a good segue.
You're welcome, Christina. Now, fucking stop talking about it.
There's this moment before Veronica goes back to the other woman's place and asks her why the phone call was like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
If it was a wrong number. It's like Veronica and Wallace just hanging out at Sack and Pack.
Yeah.
Together, like reading the paper. Like that didn't need to be in there, but I really appreciated that it was. It's just a really nice Veronica and Wallace moment, like hanging out, dealing with the tragedy or whatever. And it didn't need to be there. It served no purpose to anything else.
Yeah.
But it was really sweet and great, and I appreciated that it was there. Also, Don Lamb, spelled D-A-W-N.
Ugh.
That Veronica take. That's my new drag name.
Yeah.
I just love that. I forgot all about that too.
So did I.
And, okay, speaking of fucking Don Lamb, of course he would fax over the fucking suicide note to the family.
You know what?
What?
Lamb is on fire in this episode, and I was all for it, okay?
Just the biggest asshole.
He also... It was such a weirdly, like, put together press conference where it's like, we're not saying the bus driver committed suicide and killed everyone, but
we're not
saying it. So
I liked the whole story though of Ed going to leave his wife for this other woman.
Well, his wife seemed like a bitch, to be honest. Like,
dude,
screaming at like the 5-year-old son.
That poor kid. Like, god damn.
But it was a good little twist because they set it up like it seems like it's pretty straightforward and it was a suicide, and to kind of have, it not be was nice.
Well, and then even bigger twist coming up about the bomb. So, like, I enjoy the beginnings of this mystery. It just, there wasn't enough to fill the season.
No, the problem is there's not 22 episodes worth of interest. And there wasn't really for the Lily Kane murder. But what really helped the Lily Kane murder is they were able to... Lily played such an important role in, like, these characters' lives that even if they talk about her and it's not part of her murder, it helped flesh out the character and then in turn flesh out the mystery. There's nothing really here.
Yeah, because we didn't know anything about Lily prior.
Yeah.
Except what we learn in those small bits.
Because, like, we know about Meg, so we don't need to... Also, why I would... I really like Veronica's opening little voiceover when she's like, how much time did these 6 screaming kids have going over the...
Oh, yeah.
It's like, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, except for one, Meg, who's in a coma, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, show us that. Like, I don't know. I almost wish Meg had just died. Because I think this is where it starts to become really
They could have,
stupid.
instead of having it open in the coffee shop, they could have just had it open in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like Duncan and Veronica there. Like, we didn't need that scene of Veronica being a bitch to Jackie.
No.
And then vice
or, like,
versa.
we could have,
like,
but that also could have been moved to, like, at the beginning of Act 1.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know. I think
it just
there was
feels like the aftermath of the bus... But it doesn't feel like it just happened. It feels like now it's been a few months.
It does a bit. It doesn't feel like this is the next day or whatever, what have you. It does feel like a time jump a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think that's because we kind of had a time jump in the first episode, but it wasn't. I don't know. The beginning of the season's all wonky a bit. Like,
again, I think the biggest problem with this episode is the network is so pushing this like the mystery of the week, and then the writing team is like, well, we want this overall storyline, and they're trying to throw 2 A storylines, and neither one can be an A. It's like how this is Joe's favorite thing to say, like, 2 bottoms don't make a top. 2 B storylines don't make an A storyline, okay? Like, and it's true. It applies to this situation.
many of life's great mysteries can be solved with 2 bottoms don't make a top.
Yeah, 2 B storylines don't make an A storyline. And that's what happened in the first episode. That's what happened here. And it's frustrating.
Except, I don't know. I care a lot more about this A storyline than the first episode's A storyline. Like, I feel there was an actual
because this one
emotional
had an
punch,
actual
like
conclusion to it.
And I also feel like I knew Wallace wasn't gonna like stay off the basketball team. Like, Rob isn't gonna take away his one thing he knows about Wallace.
I almost would have, and I think that and then it would have been so much better if he did get kicked off the team.
It would have,
and then. See, that would have been a great storyline if they had not offed Meg and then have all the A and the starters be kicked off, and then Veronica helping Meg and then working with Meg, and then they figure it out and they become friends again. And
it could have been like a good half a season long or quarter season long mystery of them getting kicked off the team. Like, but hindsight is also 2020, so. We also don't have networks breathing down our necks telling us to do things a certain way and having to pivot away from what original ideas we had. I don't know. It's I can't wait to get more into the character stuff for this season, which I think this episode did really good with exploring Veronica a bit more than we got to in the first episode, just with her dealing with the bus crash, her and Duncan. We didn't really get anything with Logan this episode, which was fine.
Yeah, well, let's touch on Logan's storyline.
Well, nothing with Logan and Veronica in this. That's what I was getting at.
Kendall is a joy in every scene she does.
Yes, yes.
I thoroughly don't believe that the Casablancas don't have some sort of, like, maid. So, and also, Kendall and Logan are having sex like the entrance of the house.
Yeah. That's really risky.
Really risky. And yeah, it's like, it's such a TV trope where, like, you can hear people, like, getting out of cars, and, like, I feel like their house is too. You don't usually hear people getting out of their cars. Like, you don't usually get that much warning. I'm just saying.
It depends. Okay, so when they do, like, come in after, when the Casablanca guys come in, and she does that whole thing, and she's like,
yeah, why is Logan's truck in the driveway?
Because there's water in the pool. He's upstairs waiting for you. You know, and I'd really rather your friends not just show up whenever they want. I'm not running an orphanage here.
Yeah.
Like, that's so rude, considering it's about Logan. Like, it's not just, like, any kid or anything. Like,
Logan?
I don't know if that was intentional or not, but
I didn't actually catch that, to be honest with you.
Really fucking rude and hilarious.
To be fair, my favorite thing is I've never slept with a guy younger before, and Logan's like all proud about it. And then she's like, stop reminding me you're in high school. There's an ick factor to it.
Right? I'm glad she acknowledges that.
Yes.
Like, you're 18, so it's technically okay, but let's not bring up
It's great
the other
that all
stuff.
these characters happen to be 18 now.
Right.
So they can have adult situations.
Papa Dick is mighty fine.
The Casablanca's boys are all mighty fine.
Yeah, but also Dick Sr. is definitely the best looking of the bunch.
Well, I mean, Dick Jr. gets a lot finer. Like in the Veronica Mars movie and in season 4, he's quite
like,
nice.
No offense to Ryan Hansen or Kyle Gallner, but they don't really do much for me.
That's fine.
But Papa Dick
was always a fan of the Dick Logan / that was out there, and I'm not ashamed. Not ashamed of that.
We all have our crosses to bear. It's okay.
Well, yeah, Dick Sr. His head's really gonna roll coming up.
Shut up. You're such a dumbass. I did like when
that was
they're
funny.
At the shooting. That was funny enough. I like when they're at the shooting range, and Big Dick is like,
when I'm working, my family doesn't exist. Does it sound awful?
No.
It's not. Because when I'm with my family, work doesn't exist.
I think my father has a similar philosophy. Yeah. Of course, he's a murderer, so...
yeah, of course he's a murderer, so yeah.
But I like when
his face is just like, okay.
When Logan's like, your stepmom's a bitch, and like Dick Sr. comes in and he's like, you like to break balls, I appreciate that. Come to the gun range. And then Beaver's like, I guess we'll just stay home and knit or something. Yeah.
Poor little Beaver.
Beaves. No.
He just...
No,
Beaver.
No.
See, that's the worst part. It's like, oh, damn. Okay, so rounding about to the beginning of this podcast episode, we really drive home in this episode how big Logan's dick is. Between, like, Kendall super moaning in the room next to them and the live large condom underneath the couch. Like, we're really meant to believe that Logan is rocking that that hefty thing. So it's just, it's odd.
We appreciate it. Diane really knows how to like queerbait.
I mean, I get it. Like, I appreciate it. It's just it's really driven home in this episode.
Also, what's really weird is looking at him now and like what he's gonna like transform into down the line.
He has always had an amazing back.
Yeah, but he has a weirdly hairy chest, like he has a fuzzy chest.
Yeah. It's nice. How did we get... Oh, okay. Let's go back to Logan and Veronica. Fuck. Let's go back to Duncan and Veronica having sex. One of my least favorite things in basically any media is the trope that once you have sex, you look different or seem different in the eyes of those that have loved you and thought of you as a pure being. That you're somehow different now.
One thing I want to point out about them having sex, and I really appreciate, because it's one of my pet peeves, is when like they're done having sex and the girl's like wearing her bra, because like not that I have experience in having sex with women.
I was just about to ask.
But what I know is bras are uncomfortable and they're usually the first things to come off. So I do like that she's still covered up with the blanket around her, but she's not wearing a bra. So good for her. Because I hate when they're like done having sex and they're still in their underwear. Because underwear, for the most part, comes off when you're having sex. Because like,
yeah, it's
not like, unless you're in like a weird public place, then it usually stays on. But when you're in like the seclusion of a bedroom, it almost always comes off.
Yeah, eventually it should.
Because like,
or that kind of needs to.
That's where everything kind of happens. I'm not an expert. Maybe it's different with straight couples, but I'm pretty sure it's all down there.
Straight people, let us know. Do you not take off your underwear during sex?
Is it
kind of like, just push it to the side? Like, I don't want to fully derobe. Is it like like if something happens, you're able to run out with your underwear still on? Like, oh shit, the house is on fire. We're in the middle of having sex. Oh, thank God, I still have my underwear on. Like, you can't see my boner. I don't get it. I don't know. It's like one of the first things to come off.
Well, it's usually like the last thing to come off because you got to take.
Well, okay, yeah. Sure. Okay, fair. Fair.
There's no way it's the first thing that comes off because
it depends on
when you start,
how you entered the room.
Yeah, this is also true. Fair.
Or sometimes you'll just have a towel, and there were no underwear to take off anyway. So Logan's little FYI, if the cuddling was the best part, didn't do it right. He doesn't know what it... I mean, okay. If he's still in her while they're cuddling, then that's like cuddling plus. And that's like at least on par with sex.
Is that like...
Because then you get like that intimacy
okay.
Plus you feel them deep inside.
Let's open up our own porn streaming service and call it Cuddle Plus, please. I need to get that copyrighted somehow. Patent pending. Patent pending.
TM trademark. But yeah, no. So he doesn't. Logan needs to calm down. But I did appreciate, and I don't know if this is on purpose or if I was just reading into it, but after they hear the moaning, and Veronica's like, "Oh, maybe we can out-moan them." I'm just joking. Unless... And Duncan's just like, yeah, let's watch TV. She's like, I swear to God, there's just a hint of disappointment in her face.
Because
she wanted more.
Is what I'm
getting
at.
Duncan probably asked you, did you finish? Yeah, champ. I did. We got there, buddy. We got there together on
the bus crashed
journey.
down my ravine.
So, I guess we should talk about the Wallace and
Let's
Jackie
talk about Wallace
stuff.
and Jackie.
Because Jackie is an icon. She is amazing. She has a great introduction. I like that Wallace nearly like breaks his desk trying to like volunteer to show her to the attendance office.
I love that scene when the two girls are talking about one of the dead kids.
Oh, yeah.
And so when I was in grade, I want to say like 10 or 11, we had a girl who died, and then everyone started talking about her like she was like this great saint. She was an awful person. Like, she was like nasty to everybody, was like just not fun to be around, and like nobody liked her.
Well, she was dead.
So
no one's fun to be around when they're dead.
The moment she like was no longer with us, everyone is acting like we lost like a saint, and it was I get it, because
don't be sad, she was a bitch,
but also like because a lot of people that were acting like they just lost like their best friend, or people that never even talked to her or did not like her, and then to like flip it around and be like, she was like the best of us. Like, she was going to go places. It's like, no, I'll tell you where she was going to go. Like, probably Tent City on East Hastings, but that's whatever. Like, and then, because then we all learned that, like, she overdosed. So it was like, everyone was like, ugh. Then we had this weird, like, drug thing at school where it's like, drugs are bad. It's like, she was a fucking moron who made a lot of really bad choices and came from, like, a really nice family and chose to be an idiot. So I really like that they had that scene, because it's so true. People are so fake when someone dies. Like, everyone is like, oh my god, they're the greatest. Like, they really left their mark on the world. And then the following year, no one ever talked about her ever again. Like, or no, 3 months later, no one even talked about her again. The mural came down. It was like she never existed.
It's like Veronica even has that moment when she says something about her classmates selling out their dead classmates for a chance to be in a paper or on the news. Like, it's very that, and I'm glad they touched on that, because it's true. People do whatever they can to throw their grief, their attention-seeking grief, out there, and it's sad and gross, and it takes away from like the people that are like actually dealing with this and having a hard time with it.
Sad, it is, but
because there's someone that's like actually affected by that. So
if it doesn't,
when you go out there and like fake it or whatever, it takes away from the people trying to heal and move on and that are actually affected by this.
If it doesn't affect you, it doesn't. It honestly doesn't.
You could be bummed out or whatever because, you know, someone died, but
my favorite thing is
your world is not rocked.
I loved it. This is like one of the best moments on The Good Wife, and like, spoiler alert, but it's like an old show now. So when Will dies, one of the secretaries in the office is just like bawling her eyes out, and Diane's like, how long has she been here? And they're like, a week. And Diane's like, so she just fires her on the spot. She's like, put yourself together, get out of here. Like, and then the secretary's like, I missed. And Dan's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It's true. She was like having like an emotional breakdown, and she had worked there for a week. And it's how people, like, I understand people have strong emotions, but also it doesn't affect you at all.
No.
It's not about you.
Like, be bummed out, be sad for a day or whatever, but go into like hysterics and turning the situation on about how you're sad versus how this happened and is affecting others. It's how it affected just you.
Yeah.
And how sad you are, even though you had no connection to this person.
Yeah.
Outside of being in their general vicinity. And maybe saying 2 words to them the entire time you've known them.
So
but
back
Wallace
to
and Hacky Sack seem to be a recurring theme.
I
in the
loved
series.
it. And then like he started playing it. I'm like, you made such a big deal last season.
I know.
And here you are.
Well, he needed to learn how to play so that he can like fit in and do like investigative stuff.
I love
like,
that he called Veronica
I'm with you guys.
and was like, "What are you up to?" And then she, being the bitch that Veronica is, was kind of like, "I'm not feeling it right now." It's like,
what, dude? What? No. She was like, she just like went on a rant basically of what we just said.
Okay, but like,
and he's like, "Oh, you're not in a good space right now. You have a good time. I'll talk to you later."
How many times
she was not in any way rude, mean, or hurtful to Wallace in that moment, and she was putting out the exact appropriate amount of upsetness towards him.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Whatever.
That is exactly what I thought. Anyway, that was a really cute moment for Wallace to like be like, "Oh, you're not okay. Well, I'm gonna do this then," which is really great. I love that we got like Wallace
Private
doing
Eye.
his own. Yeah, like we got.
He was pretty good at it.
Spin-off.
I like where he's like telling Jackie what he's doing. He's like, "My connections with the office aides. Don't ask about it."
It's so cute. He is like, he's just a being of pure light, and I love when it's like right after he found out like the color of the car or whatever, and he's like checking in with Jackie again, and he's like, "You know what that means?" And she's something like,
"You're gonna get
you
my
want to get in my
pants."
pants?" And he's like, "And?" It's just so cute because he's like, "Well, yeah, that's cool, but also I'm gonna solve it.
I
I'm
really
gonna
like
get it done."
when they first are walking down the hallway and he says daddy issues and she's like kind of goes off on him, and then she turns around and smirk and is like, "A simple bitch please and a quick 180, you would have had me."
I love she has a good dynamic with him.
Yeah.
They both have a really good
So the whole, from what we learned of Jackie by the end of the season, really kind of like, it makes it hard to watch these first couple episodes because she's presented as like the spoiled heiress, but then we learn in like 20 episodes that she's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get you're playing the part, but the interaction between her and Terrence just comes off as so fake and
I get it though. Like he was never part of her life. Like, and now like her last resort, she's doesn't have her kid right now. She's in a new town. Like the whole rich girl bit is to just so people don't go looking into her past.
But I get that for the outside world,
and like
but between her
up,
and Terrence, it just seems like it just seems fake. Because it seems like they're playing up this charade, and it's just not working. And it's something
I don't see it like that.
I don't know. It's just something that happens in like mysteries and like in general, where it's like
I see where you're coming from, though. I didn't get that. I got more like she doesn't have a relationship with him, and it's just this weird kind of static relationship that they have.
Yeah, I don't know. But I like the I'm cramping. It's my lady time.
I do. Do we get? We don't get too much with them together, though.
No, because
like,
he's in
anytime we do,
he's
it's
in
mainly
jail
them
for most
arguing.
of the season, if I recall correctly.
Not all. No, he gets out because then he's like under the thumb of that guy.
Oh right.
Yeah.
It's weird. For being two characters that are supposed to be like connected together, their storylines have very little to do with each other. Is I think the one thing that really bugs me.
Yeah.
It just seems like Jackie could have been anybody, and it's weird that they're like, well, okay, well Terrence is black and Jackie is black. We might as well just. Put
it's true. She could have just been this whole other character, like any 09'er daughter.
But I guess no, because I guess she has all like the aftermath when her dad is like
I get, yeah, we don't
jail
really
and
get,
all
I
that.
guess, yeah, the second half of the season.
But we don't get a lot of them together. And I would have liked that. Maybe like them working on their relationship or whatever. There can only be one father-daughter relationship on Veronica Mars, and it's Keith and Veronica, and I'm okay with that.
I liked, so when Wallace is like investigating or whatever, and is it Olivia, the little white girl he ends up dating? Jane. Okay,
Jane.
well, I don't know why I wanted to call her Olivia. Yeah,
the
Jane.
crutches.
It is.
You didn't talk to me at all last year in English or science. And then she's like, "This is my friend. He's kind of my show,
right?
But he's just a friend." And he's just like, the dude is like,
it's really fucking great.
You know.
Like, she wants Wallace so bad. Like, she was ready to, like, just shove that guy into the car.
And I don't
Dude,
blame
Wallace
her.
is looking so good in this episode, too. He's so cute. So at the end, after Wallace is, like, brings Jackie out and it's like, here, wait, or whatever.
No, wait. I like the big, like, how he figures it out when he, like, kind of lures the reporter in. And like realizes the papers from the notepad, and like that was such a great Veronica moment because like I would have never connected that, but Wallace has now been around it enough where he's like he knows how to pick up the small things, and he's like because it's a weird shape.
That's the first time I've heard of him.
I've never really
this episode.
Yeah,
but I was never in like journalism.
So it's kind of great where he's like, and then the reporter's like, did you know them? That. And he's like, yeah. I never said that.
It was really cute. And then
yeah,
I love that we find out that Wallace is a Drew Barrymore stan. Like, that makes me love him so much more because Drew Barrymore is the greatest. Like,
but who isn't a Drew Barrymore stan?
True. If someone doesn't like Drew Barrymore, it's probably not
like,
safe to like them.
I will say she's not my favorite, but I don't like. I hate Drew Barrymore. Like,
amazing.
Never Been Kissed.
Charlie's Angels, amazing. The show on Netflix.
I want to call it Hungry, but I don't want to call it Hungry.
Santa Clarita Diet.
Santa Clarita Diet.
Really great show, and then they canceled it at a cliffhanger because why wouldn't Netflix? Firestarter from when she was a little tiny one. Oh, Drew Barrymore's amazing, and I'm glad that Wallace recognizes talent. Riding in Cars with Boys. Like, oh god, 50 First Dates.
Next week on your podcast, Drew Barrymore.
If only. But then, like, okay, I love that Jackie was ready to whoop that reporter's ass, and Wallace is like, no, I got this. Like, you don't need to go to jail too. Like, we can handle this. Because she was, Jackie would have destroyed her.
Okay, but like, would the other students have not realized this chick is going around asking all these questions who doesn't actually go to this school? It's like a Mean Girls thing. She doesn't go here.
She's a new transfer. They just got Jackie in, so God knows how many new people are coming into the school.
Ugh, this is true. But you think at that point they would have given like students like parking passes or like things or something? Because even at my high school, students had to have
you had to like
passes.
buy them. It cost money.
Yeah.
Stupid amount too. So then we end the episode with Curly washing up on shore with Veronica's name written on his hand. And I would just like to say, him washing up on shore with Veronica's name written on his hand was the original "Why is your penis on a dead girl's phone?" I'm just saying, it feels like the precursor to that. Like, I could see Shonda taking notes.
I will say though, the cliffhanger at the end of this episode was far more interesting than the cliffhanger at the last episode, which really says something since a whole bus drove off a cliff. But because all we see is like Veronica like helping this guy light a candle, and then in a very distinct shirt, and then he kind of like washes up on shore with her name.
It like because this was my first episode into the series. Like when that happened, I was like, oh my god, like I need to know why is her name on his hand. Like it did a really good job. So like, congrats to this episode for making a lifelong Veronica Mars fan. Thanks, Diane Ruggiero. Right?
Oh my god.
Do you have anything else for the episode? No?
No.
Okay.
Just that I always enjoy good Veronica and Sax interaction.
It's true. So then let's get into some of our segments.
As kind of a side project, I dispense fashion advice.
In this segment, we like to talk about the fashion of 2005. Any outfits in the episode that we liked, that we didn't like, or that is just super really dated for the time. Even though we're circling back to early 2000s fashion in our current timeline, which, if this show has taught us anything, no, don't do it. Don't go back.
God help us.
Okay, so what did you enjoy about this episode?
So I have a couple things. I really like Veronica had like this almost emerald green shirt, short sleeve shirt that she was wearing when she first met Jesse in the bathroom. For some reason it was so out of character, but Veronica's wearing this purple like I Heart Rock and Roll sweater and like these short shorts at the very end of the episode. And it's like, I don't know why she was wearing it, because it doesn't scream Veronica at all. It looks like Kristen
Maybe
Bell
it was
just came on
Lily's.
set and
Maybe
she
it was
was
Lily's.
late. I guess, but it just seems like, okay, Kristen, like
We need reshoots. Come on, we need to get this done.
You know what? You're wearing clothing. Just get on. But I really liked it for some reason. Kendall's wearing this like floral dress near the end of the episode.
Oh yeah.
Big Dick pranks Beaver, and it just fit her really well. And then my favorite outfit of the episode was Wallace is wearing like this ripped gray sweatshirt with no sleeves, and you just see his like pipes. And they're
his arms. I was like, his pipes, like his windpipes, like his throat, like.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you normally see his throat when he wears a t-shirt, but okay. See, I think the best outfit was Jackie's first day of school outfit with that cropped jean jacket. Oh my god, that jean jacket was amazing.
On par with how awful Gia looked.
No, I loved it. It's only second or first. My second favorite is her like gold top.
I know,
with the pink shirt underneath
end, right?
it. Not her, like, not the end of the episode look. Not that, like, paisley type. No, it's like a gold chain. You don't get to see it all, really, because of how the scene is shot. But that is such a good... Oh, God, she looks so fucking amazing. And then she has these, like, two braids that come in the front. Like, oh, she looks so fucking good. Sorry.
I will say, it's actually really weird. No, I guess it was UPN. Because there's this argument going on about how black women have to like straighten their hair and make their hair look more Caucasian. And especially like on The Flash, they're kind of talking about it. Because Iris's hair is always straightened.
Oh, yeah.
And then so one episode she got to wear it like naturally curly. And there was like this huge deal about it. But like for the most part, Jackie's pretty much has like naturally black hair. And I didn't really think about it until we started doing this. And I definitely think it's a UPN thing. Because I know like girlfriends, they all kind of like had to do, they kind of did what they wanted. And it was more of a black network. And it's nice because Jackie actually has some really good hairstyles throughout the season.
I love, oh God, Tessa Thompson. Like even back then, I loved her. Like
episode,
before.
I don't think her acting's that great in this episode. It's really forced, but she definitely gets more comfortable with the character.
She is very much like I'm just gonna be this bitch character. But when they start like rounding out her character more, Tessa really gets into that.
Yeah, and I think this is one of her first acting jobs too. So like, whatever. But it's easy to tell because Veronica Mars is one of those teen dramas where like the acting is a lot better than it deserves to be. So when there's like a weak link, it's easy to tell where that weak link is. So it's nothing on her. It's pretty much just like the show is too good.
I get it. Also, I liked Jesse's like Argyle polo at the beginning, where it has like the little skull on it over the chest.
Oh, almost like was it like almost like it was the button?
Yeah. Like when she's in the bathroom.
It was like a bowler
I think so,
shirt,
something like that. But it like polo-ish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a roller shirt.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, the roller shirt, yeah.
And speaking of Veronica's like loungewear, she has that like gray tank top with the pink trim. That was like really super cute. And that I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much all I had. I loved everything. Oh, Kevin Smith's memorial t-shirt with the bus design on it. I really enjoyed that shirt. Oh my god, I'm not praising Kevin Smith. You can like stop glaring at the floor right now. Jesus Christ.
I was drinking
okay,
my tea.
In contempt. Just like me. He said Kevin Smith. Me. Oh, but you know what we didn't talk about? Keith running for sheriff. Like the whole Woody Goodman storyline, him wanting...
Oh, because I had something to add to that. Okay, so when...
Oh,
when
God,
like,
I don't want to hear
boys
this.
are like all arguing, and then Woody like runs up to them. I'm like, yeah, Woody loves running up to a group of young boys.
Like he sees...
He was more than happy to be like, break it up, boy.
Are like really hard to watch around the kids because like you're just like, how many of them has he touched? Like, this is so bad. Like he is.
Yeah. Yeah, Keith is gonna run for sheriff, and it was cute that there was like he wasn't going to, and
yeah, he sees that Lamb was a fucking asshole to Jesse, and it was a good way to tie the two kind of like storylines together, and Veronica really wanting him to make that bid for sheriff and him not wanting to, and then
I enjoyed that Woody's like, or Keith is like, where did you stand when I got kicked out the first time? Woody's like, I signed the petition. I can admit really I was wrong, but I also touched children, but hey.
But I just like how it was Veronica helping Jesse with that mystery that is the catalyst for Keith running for sheriff. It was a great little tie-in at the end of the two storylines. Oh, the speaking of Keith and Veronica, when they're like watching whatever on the news, and Keith is like, I can't imagine where I'd be if you had gotten back on that bus.
That's my favorite quote.
Oh, okay. So then let's go into our next segment.
These are the jokes.
Favorite quotes. In this segment, we each pick our favorite quote of the episode, and we talk about it a little bit. What is your favorite quote, Travis?
So when Veronica and Keith are watching like the TV, and
I can't imagine where I'd be if you had gotten back on that bus.
You'd be sad for a while, and then you'd probably turn my room into some sort of sewing nook or yoga studio.
You don't have to make a joke, you know.
Sure I do.
That shit hit close to home.
I was gonna say I felt personally
Very
attacked
much.
at that point.
Wow.
But also seen more than I've ever been seen
like
in my life.
Spread bare naked, like in front of You know what, ma'am, sir? I do have to make a joke. Jesus, because it's the only way I know how to cope. Okay.
Because if I'm not making a joke right now, I'm gonna
and I
fall
don't feel
somewhere
like crying right now. It gives me a headache.
So you know what, Keith?
So enjoy your sewing nook. So my favorite quote is the quote that really solidified like me wanting to continue the show. And it's when Veronica is getting her application at the sheriff's office, which, side note, her and Sax scenes are always phenomenal. I really like, he's like, what, are you serious? Like, you really want an application? But then you have Veronica's in the room or whatever, and like Lamb comes up and Sax like, you're never gonna guess who's in the interrogation room right now filling out an application. He's like, what? Who? I don't have time for this, Sax. Veronica Mars. And like the way Lamb's face drops at that, like, oh fuck, why would you do that? And he like darts in or whatever.
What are you up to, Veronica?
Last question, actually. Why do you want this position? Honestly, and really tell me the truth. How much of an ass kiss would I be if I admitted to be close to you? Seriously, why do birds suddenly appear every time you're near?
I don't know what it is about that quote, but like just the first time I heard it, I thought it was like the funniest, most clever fucking thing I had like ever heard.
It's good.
Like it's, I don't know, it was just so fucking smart and funny, and I was like, I need to know this show more. Like, if these are the jokes I'm coming into, and like the fact that like I hadn't watched a single episode beforehand, and I was cracking the fuck up at this episode. Like, it was, I was lucky to come in at this episode, but the next day I went out and bought season 1 on DVD, and this is the line that eventually caused this podcast, I guess. This is the catalyst for this podcast. If Diane wouldn't have sat down and wrote these words,
wrecked my life.
Who knows? Maybe I would have been like, that was an all right show.
Joe would have been straight if it wasn't for that quote. Veronica Mars
made me want to suck dick, and it's because of Lamb and Veronica.
More Lamb, I'm assuming, than Veronica.
I don't know. But... Catch me on a good... Oh, God, no. Let's go into our next segment.
Excuse me, it's Madison's turn. It's time for a Madison Minute. Hello.
But it's time for a Madison Minute. In this segment, we like to talk about our Queen of Queens, Madison Sinclair, and since she wasn't in this episode, what we think she was up to. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. I strongly believe Madison would be making Jesse's life a living hell. She would also, though, on the flip side, be the number one taking advantage of all these dead kids.
Oh, yes.
Like, oh my God. Meg and I, like, were the best of friends. And all the other kids, like, I sat beside him once in homeroom. Ever since we had that talk with Amanda, now I'm trying to, like, mimic her.
A little plug, if you haven't listened to it, we got to interview Amanda Norrit, who plays Madison Sinclair. So if you haven't checked out that episode, go into our back catalog. It's only 2 episodes ago. And listen to our interview with her, because she's amazing and hilarious and had a lot of fun input on what Madison would be doing if she was around now. I like to think that Madison went out to that like memorial out at the cliffs or whatever and made like even bigger piles for all the kids, but made sure like from Madison Sinclair was like right like almost bigger than like rest in peace. You have like from Madison Sinclair and like floral arrangements, stuffed animals, like all that shit. And I like to think since she's rich, she also got like a skywriter, or like maybe not a skywriter, but like one that holds like a banner, and it just says something like "We miss you," like just flying overhead until like the tank of gas goes out, and she's like just standing over there looking at it like, I did that. That was me. We miss you. I miss you. And like, because she's definitely one of those people that needs people to know that she's mourning, like how hard this is for her. Like so much so that I think she's hosting a wake of sorts at her own home so that people can come and see her grieve and like.
She would also be the type of person where it's like, I was going to take journalism this year. I would have been on that bus.
I really thought about
like
it this
how,
summer, you guys. Like,
yeah, like how people were fucking. Because I remember again around 9/11, I was supposed to be on a plane that day. I was going to go to New York that day, or I was on a plane 2 weeks before that. That could have been me.
I rode on a plane once in my life. That could have been me. That could have been the one time I rode on a plane. No, it's but yeah, I think she would have her own sort of like wake. Like Logan has his Life's Too Short party or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Madison has a like let's grieve together, but it ends up just being her in the middle of the room, like uncontrollably sobbing and people having to console her a bit. Anything else, sir?
No.
All right, let's get into one of our final segments.
Go Pirates!
It's time for our MVP, our most valuable pirate. We like to award this to whoever we thought put in the most work for the episode. Maybe someone who did something good, someone who did something awesome, someone who drove the story, whoever we liked most this episode. Who did you like? Who are you giving your MVP?
I gave it to Mr. Wallace'd.
Okay, I was going to, but I gave it to him last episode, and I was waiting to see if you gave it to him. I want to give it to Veronica. I think this was a good episode with her.
I'm surprised you didn't give it to Jackie.
She was my alternate, but I don't know. She didn't really do anything much in this episode.
She made an entrance.
She did.
Bitch.
She did. And she put Veronica in her place, which is
one thing that I really like about Jackie, and it's like really the only thing I remember that she does at all in the season is constantly put Veronica in her place.
She does not take her shit, and it's just like, no, listen,
because she's from the mean streets of New York.
Wants her fucking macchiato. And if you can't give her that fucking macchiato, why the fuck are you standing behind the counter? What the fuck are you doing, Veronica?
She doesn't know who Duncan Kane is.
She doesn't care who the fuck Duncan Kane is.
Her dad is Terrence fucking Cook.
Yes. Keith has his card vacuum sealed in a safe. That's how important he is. But I think...
Yeah. Terrence is like his man crush Mondays.
I really like that Veronica went out on a limb to try to help Jessie when it was well outside her range, and she admitted to it being like far outside her range.
Well outside of her range. But also not really, because she figured out well within her range of things she usually... If anything, this is one of her easiest cases.
She did figure... Yeah. I don't know. Do I want it to go to Jackie?
She only had to go to like 2 different locations to figure it out too.
I don't know. No, I'm going to give it to Veronica. I'm going to keep Veronica. That's my story I'm sticking to. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to. But when would I be... No, it's Veronica. Let's go on to our next segment so I can't change my mind. Bye.
Pirate points are earned by being a contributing member of the school.
Pirate points, as you heard, are earned by being a contributing member of the school. By the end of the episode, we figure you know whether or not we liked the episode, hated the episode, where we fell with it. So instead of giving it like a letter score or numerical score, we just say how many pirate points we would give the episode. Just have a little bit of fun with it. How many pirate points are you giving out this episode?
So I'm giving it enough pirate points to take a domestic car to school.
A domestic car to school? To take the Bronco to school. Not the Porsche. You can't take the Porsche. I'm going to give it enough pirate points to have the biggest pile at the memorial site of your group murder.
Ooh. I don't think it deserved the biggest pile.
Okay, so, alright, maybe not the biggest pile, but like a noticeable pile. Like, better than that person's, because it was better than the last episode. Like, it's not the best. It's like high like middle high. Like a good... Oh, I was about to give it a numerical score. Ooh, but we don't do that here.
That's not a contributing part
Whatever.
of the school, Joe.
All right, so that brings us to the end of this episode. If you liked what you heard today, you can let us know by going down to whatever rating system your podcast app has, if it does have it. And let's say you're using iTunes, find that 5-star rating, and if you can give us a little bit of a
Tappa.
on that 5-star to let us know that you enjoyed this episode, you enjoyed this podcast. You can also reach out to us through email, veronicamarspod@gmail.com. Let us know what you thought. Give us any feedback for this episode, prior episodes, what you might want to see out of a future episode. You can also reach out to us on social media at veronicamarspod on both Instagram and Twitter. If you would like to follow me on either of those platforms, I am at Ojo, that is OHJEAUX. Where are you at, Travis?
You guys can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Travis Truant. That's Travis and then TRUANT for Truant.
You got it right the first time this time. I left that in the other episode, just to let you know. Don't know if you went back and listened to it.
I usually cut out. I don't usually listen to the last part of it.
I don't think anyone does.
I don't need to listen to us say. Like, I know where to find us on social media.
Alrighty.
The only time I ever listen to it is if I'm in the middle of something and I can't reach my phone to turn us off.
Accurate. I get that. It's okay. I don't re-listen to the episode after editing it. I just go off your word. I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
So it's very important that you re-listen to these. So with that, we will see you guys next week for Season 2, Episode 3, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Or is it Green Eyed Monster? Yeah, no, it's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That's Episode 3. I was right. I know I am.
We're Veronica Mars fans. We run a Veronica Mars podcast.
We know.
Bye!
All right. So with that, I hope that you all have a better day than that reporter is going to have if Jackie ever catches her in these streets, because Neptune is not a big town and talk shit, get hit. Goodbye.
Bye.
You tried to save Veronica Mars. We get it. Girl detectives are bitchier than regular detectives. Not into it.